Welcome once again. The What It Takes Radio Company is proud to present. We're going to teach you how to be a world-class podcaster because indeed, the world does need to hear your story. And today, what you can learn about life and broadcasting from the Tucker Carlson drama so that you can be up to date and world-class. We are truly point of the moment. Greetings, not only ladies and gentlemen, but let's continue. I hope it's greetings, friends, that not only are we just in the relationship of, I know this stuff. I've been a broadcaster and a podcaster for a number of years, and obviously you're kind of in a student status in some way. But at the same time, I have welcomed you to the point where I'm going to say, if you've done what the work so far, you're a broadcaster. You're a beginner, for sure. And that's good. A beginner's mind is always the best because that means you're open to learning new things. You don't think you know it all. You're actually in the business of saying, I know that I can do this, but I know that I want to do it better. And I want to get to perhaps really good at it. And perhaps I want to make some real good money at it. And perhaps I'd like to make some of that money by teaching others how to do just that. How to be a world-class podcaster. So that's what I want to have happen for me. And as I share some of the things that I've learned and you start to share the things that you are learning from your own building a podcast and building an audience and reaching that audience experience, we'll learn more. And so in effect, we'll become what every good organization is. It is a people who can kind of make it on their own, but they have decided in many cases that they can make more if they perhaps join the gang. And it may be just a gang, or the group, maybe the community, and perhaps it may even be where some people say it's kind of like a family. Now, not every organization that you're with or the affiliation that you have has to be like a family. I think sometimes companies really overdo that. But being on a team, being a part of a gang, which is a little bit looser than a team, but being involved in a fellowship, having a sense of collegiality, that may happen. And at the same time, you are on your own. That wonderful, frightful delight of every entrepreneur and every broadcaster is to know that in effect, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And in some ways, I'm a part of a company, a part of a broadcast team, but I'm also on my own. Again, if it's going to be, it's up to me. And so today I want to do just exactly what that topic said on the introduction, which said is, hey, what can we learn from Tucker Carlson about being a broadcaster and about being an entrepreneur? So if you'll join me with that little endeavor, I think we'll learn some things that might be helpful and useful. But you've decided that you're going to even do more. You're there, but you're not quite good enough, but you're getting there, and you will. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of that project with you. Now, for those of you who may not know, the big news in America, particularly in the media world, is that one of the top broadcasters who had a 8 o'clock regular television program on a rather conservative but highly rated and very popular. In fact, one of the most popular cable channels in America was the top-rated person, not only on his channel, not only on his station, but in the industry in that particular slot. And he quit his program last Friday and actually had where he honored a pizza delivery guy who had helped to stop a carjacking. And they had pizza together, and he said, have a nice weekend, I'll see you next week. Well, we didn't see him on Monday because they fired him. They threw him out. Now, it might have been mutual, but not really. They could have perhaps decided mutually not to attack or harass or sue each other. And he may have gotten a large, significant severance, but that wasn't in his plans, at least as we can see. So that's what happened. And of course, people are talking about it because it was the big media event. Now, what I'd like to do, and I really take this rule, is don't try and say anything about an event until 72 hours has passed. So I'm hopefully going to be in tune with that somewhat, just about 72 hours, all right? Here we go. And that's not about necessarily the event, it's about what you can learn from that event. First of all, as a business performance coach, you can never depend on what people call loyalty today. I'm afraid that in most cases, loyalty is a lost art, both on the side of the employee and often, very significantly, on the side of the employer. And that used to be a very significant part of the business social contract, that if you did a good job and you were loyal, the company would remain loyal to you. And in some of the better organizations who have that ability, that still might be true. Generally, they're smaller organizations, oftentimes family-owned or limited investors, where, if possible, that can be done. And so the idea that you can depend on, as some people say, we want job security. There is no job security. That does not exist. If you find a place that is relatively secure, enjoy it. Good for you, if that's the kind of job you have. And please keep in mind, oftentimes job security is traded for job opportunity. That means you may not have advantages given to you to move up the ladder, to have greater opportunity, to be in a greater position. They may have you securely set exactly where they want you to be, and they'll keep you secure there, and that's just what they mean. They'll keep you secure there. So the lesson of that is, here was a top performer, high performer, well paid, and for whatever reason, in a weekend, he's fired totally. And he's not even given, and this is where, in effect, his employers were a bit of a jerk. They understand that he has a loyal audience, which they're going to pay for in the sense that those people are going to be very disenchanted. But he could have agreed, and I think he would have agreed, and they could have agreed to at least give him a final send-off where he could thank his listeners and his viewers. That would have been, let's say, the ladies and gentlemanly thing to agree to, and do that. An act of civil departure. So that's the deal that happened. But as I said, what we can learn is that job security, that the opportunity for advancement, you pay a price, and even then, it is truly more and more what is called the gig economy. It's a freelance economy. It's an entrepreneurial economy. You just simply have to be in the same position that I'm in. I own my own business and corporation, and nobody pays me a salary. Nobody pays for my benefits. Nobody pays me for anything because I show up for work. I'm only paid as I perform, and other people pay. That's what a business is. People don't make donations just because they like you. They pay you because they don't want to pay you. That's right, they don't want to pay you. They would prefer to keep their money, but because they want what you have or the service you give or the opportunity that you provide for them, they part with their money. And that's what we have to do. Be so good and demonstrate it and reach out to people so that we can have, as someone said, they'll put money in our hat. That's the kind of model that we work with. Now, as a podcaster, I want you to also see that it could be that this could be the very best thing that happened. Now, one of Tucker's colleagues from the past had said, don't worry, Tucker, you'll be just fine. Because what she has done is she used to be in that same situation, and she now has her own podcast and her own YouTube channel and her own audience, and she has no boss, and she's making very, very good income, and she can do whatever she wants to do. She can't be censored or canceled by the organization, the corporation. So it could be that if you are smart and clever, and perhaps it will be that you are able to watch out for the predators and the bad people who are out to get you, you can have a radio program. And isn't it interesting to know that many of the people who are Tucker's colleagues still within the channel also, even though they may have a program on the channel which has 1 million viewers or listeners, they are also doing podcasts on the side, which allows them to have more freedom, more opportunity. So if the same thing that happened to Tucker happens to them, and in the business, that's exactly how it's said. The great radio commentator, the most powerful one in talk radio, Rush Limbaugh, proudly said, if you're in the radio, you'll get fired. And he said, I was fired a number of times before I really got my own show going. I was fired. Not necessarily for how I performed, they just didn't want me anymore, or they didn't like me anymore, or the station was sold, or they decided to change a format. And they don't have to give any reason. They don't have to give any severance. They don't have to do anything. All they do is say, you're not on the air anymore. Get out of here. And, they take your stuff and they put it out on the corner and you're gone from the radio station. That happens. And it happens all the time, even today in that business. So being a world-class podcaster will mean that you will have far greater freedom to perform and speak and do what you want to do, to have a reputation around the world that is simply you. And you can do and speak and say, obviously within civility for sure, I would hope within good courtesy and kindness and graciousness, and ladies and gentlemen, that we live up to. We can be our own boss in our own way, with our own little radio station and our own set of programs. And we can live a very free and unique and powerful and comfortable and make a difference life. That's the deal that could happen. And so the lesson from what happened to Tucker is, please keep in mind, he'll probably be okay. As his friend said, you might actually celebrate the day they did this to you. By the way, in my many years of performance coaching, in fact, I even had to recommend that a woman be terminated after she threatened to resign and then did resign, assuming that they would buckle and then give her what she wanted. And I recommended that they accept her resignation. And she was scared to death. She didn't think that would happen. Obviously, she was very unhappy at me because she knew that I had been the bold coach who had come in and told them, let her go. I met her on the street 2 or 3 years ago after this had happened. And of course, I was ready. I was bold. I wasn't going to run away from her. So I stood there and she came up to me and said, "Hi, Stan. I just wanted you to know that what you and the guys did to me turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened to me." It really did. Turned out fine and in a better place, and a whole lot of things went better for me. And now actually I'm back doing a little part-time work for the company, and we're best of friends. Thanks for firing me. I'm grateful. You see how life can work. So wonderfully serendipity, grace, amazing grace can jump in at all times. And so I'm going to encourage you, again, get good at how you do this. Learn how to build your own brand, your own reputation, your own demonstrated wisdom, insight, and truth. Be a man or woman who, no matter what it can be, as one person told me of the woman who actually demonstrated how to do quilting on a podcast video program. And eventually, it was just her hobby, but she was so good at it. Eventually, she turned it into a small and then into a growing business. And now she is doing proverbially what she loves to do, which is kind of what I am and what you can do too. Even if I didn't make any money at this, I love it so much, I would continue to do it. So there's where we want to go. We want to learn the lesson that entrepreneurship, and as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to learn how to use this marketing media, the YouTube, the video, the radio, how to use those tools, those modern media tools of communication, so that if something like that happens to you, and please keep in mind, it's liable to. The artificial intelligence, artificial voice, artificial art, the whole artificial thing could be something that really changes the marketplace in significant ways. And if you don't have some unique talent or some unique ability, the robot will replace you. And what are you going to do then? So here we go. Let's get really good at speaking, teaching, talking, consulting, helping, entertaining even people on the radio, on the visual radio, called television. Means you can see far away. And then let's see where that will lead us to how that can be incorporated into the work we do, and perhaps give us the freedom of truly being, in terms of life and business, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty. I'm free. I'm free at last. Hey, best and blessings to you. Again, keep this going. You need coaching, and I can do that. You need me to come in and teach all of your people how to use the modern media, and we can do that. We can help you learn how to be a master marketer, a master leader, a master demonstrator, a master salesperson, and a master entrepreneur using exactly these wonderful tools of the golden microphone and the video camera. You can literally reach the world, literally everybody, with those tools today, and be available to actually have, as I have, customers and clients who I've never seen, but they're all over the world, and they still participate in the work we do. There's the opportunity for you, and I wish it will go well for you as you seek, if that's what you want, to do just that. Again, stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. Bye for now. And see, we are indeed point of the moment. We bring our program right into the context and the times we are living in right now. One of the great advantages of radio. I'm Stan Houston. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com. Please check out our YouTube channel, Reaching Your Audience, How to Be a World-Class Podcaster. Leave a message if you want at 520-664-7002 USA, and we'll get back to you. We always answer our messages. And remember, this is brought to you by the What It Takes Radio Company. We are in the business of connecting you with your audience, and we are welcoming new partners into the organization.